All right, answering some questions and something fun you can do with a partner. So, first set of questions. I had some questions about how you can properly use both a parry 2 and a parry 9. Now, again, I've told you before, they're like bread and butter parries. You've got your 5, 4, 6, 7, so you're guarding all of your key areas. And I find you will use these more than in the other parries, but the others are good to have in your toolbox. So let's unbox them a little bit, talk about when and why we would use them, okay? So I've got my esteemed partner here, Adara. All credit to Adara. And she's gonna help me demonstrate first how I would use a 2, how I would use a 9, and then a practice drill we can do with a friend to help us build playing by sense of touch, the value of it, and how to not do it wrong on accident. Because I've seen people try this different ways, and I want to make sure you get the right exercise from doing this. Okay, ready, Dar? Mm-hmm. Okay. You all right, Tips?
Water.
Okay.
Hydrate yourself.
Put your feet together for this one because we're at limited space. Go ahead and step close to the TV so we can show everything. Hold your sword in front of you. Now, first I'm going to start with a 2 and when a 2 is useful. So go ahead and step all the way back, Dara. Thank you. Now, a 2 is like a 5. It's going to cover the same area. But when I do a 5, so go ahead and extend towards my hand. Don't move your feet, just extend the sword. There you go. When someone comes for that high shot with a 5, you press it under and make an entire wall of steel right here, right? Effective parry, I like to use it. And I find it very useful when I have lunged to one side and realize that their counter shot is going to come high. So when they extend high, I can already get to that parry. That's the concept I find is most effective when I'm using a 5, right? A 2 can be used both aggressively and defensively, but the entire parry remains offensive. Behold, on guard. Now, same deal. If someone extends towards your head, perfect. Again, ready? If someone extends towards my head, I can engage in my 2 parry, and though this is an awkward angle, it's only awkward because the muscles you use to hold it, you don't use very often. It should be strenuous on your muscles, but not strenuous on your joints, okay? This is a natural movement, but it's going to use some muscles in here you don't use for basically anything but sword fighting. Okay, extend. So when I extend at my head, when I get that parry, I am an extension away from killing my opponent. So this is an aggressive parry. It's one you can use that immediately threatens your opponent. And I'm going to show it from another angle in a minute to make sure you get a better idea of how and when to use it. The other one is parry 9, right? So we've got parry 5 where we come over our head, and we've got 9, our Conan parry. It feels different. It's not as utility as a 5, and it leaves you with an awkward option for your hand. You know, it doesn't really fit anywhere. But when is it useful? And again, similar to the 5, right? When I have to cover the side of my face, I find when my opponent has access to this area, from whatever move I've come in. I've come down here, I realize I'm open here. When I recover to my 9, so extend towards here. When I recover to my 9, you know, you can always do a 4 instead, but sometimes you need that angle, sometimes you need that 9. The thing that's beneficial about this is not that my hand can now engage or cover my other area. I mean, obviously being able to cover the likely counterpoint is always useful. But from here, often I'll double down on my sword, and I don't want to break anything here, but you can do a powerful sling like that, and it sends your opponent's blade out to the side. What's that? Oh, that's why I just set it down. So again, it's a tool that you want to have available to you when you find that situation. Okay, Dart, real quick, come right here. We'll show them the difference. Right here. Perfect. Step back a little bit. Now drop your sword and get low real quick so I can show them what the mechanics look like. So one more time, the important notes for doing a parry 2, right? From your unguard, if it's a high guard, you need to get that crescent. If it's a low guard, you need to make sure you cross your center line, right? I'm going to angle my true edge high, and I'm going to bring the blade through my center line, and my pommel is near my sword side hip, and my tip is near my opposite hip. That way I cover my body line. So coming up to my 2 from my on guard, and I should step back, so I'm going to step a little forward. I step back, bring my edge up, and make that 2 parry. Got it? And notice, it's not a 2. That's where we commonly screw it up. You'll see people do something like this. You want it in front of you, parry 2. Like I said, it doesn't feel that natural at first, and you're going to be using parts of your arm, though it's not in a way that's going to hurt or break your arm. It's going to be using them in a way like, when else do you use these muscles? So expect it to be a little strenuous when you first are learning this move. Okay, Dar, help me out. Feet together, back up against the couch. Extend your sword at my head. Perfect. So again, when my opponent is, bring your sword back and then extend at me, right? When my opponent extends at me, I rise up through the center, catching their blade closer to my forte, but now instead of 5, where I am wide and generating a very high guard, it's still a good parry, right? And this one, I am aggressive. From here, all I have to do is angle my tip. Now I'm going to intentionally miss Dara because I don't want to hurt her. But if I angle my tip and return my lunge, I am well past my opponent, right? So on guard, should they make that lunge at my head, I step back, get the initial parry, step in, and I can immediately get that counter-aggressive thrust. And if my opponents become used to me doing like a 5 or a different parry, it changes up how I'm parrying and immediately throws off whatever plan they had, right? I break my own consistency. Okay, again, Dar. So, I've come in and Dara has managed to force my blade wide and down. You always want to get on your strong, right? Wide and down. I realize I'm open here and I want to cover it. So when she makes that thrust up at my body, for my hand, I can return with that step back, we're using a limited area, right, to my parry 9. And if I actually catch someone in this initial 9, I can angle my true edge towards where I want their blade to go, using my offhand to assist my sling. Now I'm putting very little power in this because I want to throw it into my furniture. But immediately their blade goes wide, you can double in for the kill. This is one that is good to use because it breaks your pattern again. This isn't something you've probably standardly been doing. On guard, Dar, one more time. So, managed to force my blade wide. Always use your edge, right? So she's got my edge there. She returns for that lunge to the head as I come to that 9, right? I'm able to redirect her blow wide and then cross in. Thank you, Dar. Okay, one more. This is something someone asked me for, something we can practice at home that's a little more fun and engaging. So now I'm done with questions. Come on over here, Dar. We're going to go over how we can do a practice drill. Now, did I lose it? I don't know if I did.
What are you looking for?
I did. Mask. Hey, Jubei, would you give me the mask in the garage?
Sure.
Thanks. Okay.
Do I have a mask?
You will, but hold on. So this next drill, we've talked about our focus areas, right? Always lead with the edge. Lunge, parry, recover. Take a step back when anyone throws a shot at you. And our last one is play by feel. Use that sense of touch to adjust how you sword fight, okay? So this drill is one that can... No, sorry, it's okay, don't worry. We'll work it out when it's time. So this drill is designed specifically to help you build that sense of feel. So while we're practicing this, be careful that you don't change what the drill is meant to encourage. And I'll explain. Okay, Dar, grab that headband, would you? Put it on your head. Hey, Jebs.
Yeah.
Can you take Ripley, honey, and see if she wants to go do something real quick while we finish this? Thank you. Ripley, honey.
That's why everyone knows me as the famous professional half-naked baby carrier. Whoa. Peace.
Thank you, son.
No problem.
Yes. Now take it and pull it over your eyes. Okay, so get a blindfold. Here's how the drill works. You get a blindfold. Now again, I'm going to recommend everyone use a mask for this. You don't want to mess this up and take someone's eye out or break a tooth, right? But because I'm just demonstrating and I've done this before and I know what I'm doing, I'm going to show you what the idea looks like. Okay, Dara, here's your sword. Now again, this is just what it should look like. You want to practice it with the following information. What we're going to do is, see, I'm already out of range. I can't hit her. Dara, extend your sword. She is also out of my range, right? That's why I'm not wearing a mask, because I know my distance and the drill is built to do something else. So what we're going to do is both of us are going to be blindfolded. I'm not going to blindfold myself yet because I'm still showing. And we're going to touch blades. Now, once we've touched blades, what we want to not do is try to come off the blade and hit them somewhere their blade is not. That is not the point of this drill. Some people want to play that way, some people want to drill that way. That is not the point of this drill. Don't do that, okay? The point of this drill is to know where your opponent's blade is at in space, and use leverage to figure out how to gain, bind, get around their sword, okay? So on guard, Dar. Ready? Feet together, because we're in our limited space. One step this way, to your left. I'm sorry, my left. Yeah, there you go. Blade in front of you. Perfect. Now you're touching my blade, right? Now use the edge of your blade to try to push mine out of the way. See, you're too weak, so you got to come to your strong. Now push my blade out of the way. And she's able to get it. See? Now I want to try to get her back. And we can even come around our blades. But what are we trying to do? Are we trying to stab each other? Are we trying to make deep lunges? Are we trying to not feel each other's blade and hit each other? No. We're trying to feel where each other is at in space and see if we can gain leverage, right? It's an interesting little game. And again, you can play it with a mask if you're worried. So I'm going to put a mask on you. You ready, Dar? Okay. So let's say you know your opponent or someone you're playing with is a little, is that okay?
I think it's too small.
Oh no, I just gotta adjust this. There you go. Maybe your opponent's someone you know has a little more energy, you might end up lunging or something like that. You want to be extra careful. She has a blindfold on, she's got the mask on. If it ends up coming at her face, she'll be fine. If I were more worried about it, I'd be wearing the mask myself. Okay, blade up, Dar. So again, Dar has never done this drill before, so don't expect it to always go this way, but if you're your first time practicing, you might as well. I know that right there I'm out of range. I know she's not longer than me, so we're both out of range. I blindfold myself as well, so I can't see, and then we start feeling for each other's blade. Now I've got her blade. I want to try to see if I can force her wide and make that counter. I'm able to get my move. So Dara?
Yeah?
Oh, you feel my blade. Now push it out of the way. Oh, there you go. And I can't resist because you've got leverage. Now extend at me. Oh, good. Now I'm coming back. Where did you go? I'm looking for your blade. Oh, I found it. I want to be able to push that one out and come back in. See how the drill is meant to build that pressure. Now again, Daria's new to this. She doesn't have the muscles for this. If I were playing with a more senior fighter, we would have a lot more play and go, right? But notice how this drill builds that play-by-feel mechanic, and it's a fun thing to do instead of standard sitting there doing what you do all day. Builds a good set of skills without being so redundant as something you've done too much. All right, you can take your stuff off now, Dar. Thank you, Dar, for all your help. And I hope that works for you guys. Go ahead and let me know in the comments if it's good, bad, or indifferent. And hopefully I'll see you all soon.